RPGaDay 2016, day 13. Question for today was, what makes a successful campaign? And I thought about this and I thought I honestly don't have an answer to the question. So instead I'm going with one of the alternate questions, and that is, what is your preferred method of character improvement and why? So, I mean, I grew up on Dungeons and Dragons. When I got back into the hobby, Dungeons and Dragons was what I was doing, albeit Pathfinder, but same basic thing. I've never been a huge fan of the standard leveling up procedure where all kinds of things jump up, or you can spend points indiscriminately amongst skills. The last system we played any amount of was the One Ring, and that's got a slightly different system where each set of skills falls into one of a variety of camps. Every time that you use a skill, if you haven't already ticked off the first box against that, if you use it and it's successful, you can tick that off. If you use it and you get what they call a great success, then you can tick off the second box. Anytime that you use a skill and it's a major success and it's an intrinsic part of the game, it really moves the story along, at that point you can tick off the last box. You then get advancement points for how many boxes you've got when you have downtime, and you can spend the advancement points that you have to improve your skills. However, similar to the problem that I have with Pathfinder, you still can spend it pretty much indiscriminately where you like. The system that I prefer over anything else that I've read, but I haven't run it in a campaign yet, so I can't say for sure, is the Call of Cthulhu system, and we're going to try that out next month. In Call of Cthulhu, anytime you successfully use a skill, you put a tick next to that box, and then when you have downtime, you can roll against that skill. And if you roll higher than that skill, which would normally be a failure, then you can add 1d10 to that skill. The idea is that in order to improve a skill, you have to use it, and you have to use it successfully. But the other thing that I like is that the more skilled you are in that skill, the more difficult it is, the less likely it is that you're going to have a sudden breakthrough and learn something about it which is going to be useful to you. So if you've only got 40% in a skill, you're not going to use it successfully as often as if you had 80 or 90% in it, so it won't get ticked as often. When you get to downtime, you're rolling on a percentile dice and you're trying to roll over 40. That's a fairly easy thing to do. 60% of the time you'll get it and it will improve your skill. However, if you've got a skill that you've got 90% in, 90% of the time that you use that skill statistically, you'll be able to tick that box, but only 10% of those times are you going to end up rolling over 90 on a percentile dice. So I really like that system. I think it rewards the use of skills with those skills getting better in a way that most other systems I've seen don't. That's a system that I'm really looking forward to trying out, and it sounds like a system that's really going to work mechanically and work the way my brain thinks.